Hello everyone and welcome to the other match from the semifinals of the Julius Baer Generation Cup. It is the second game and it's the one that we are going to show, as I think it is the nicest one for people to enjoy, even though the match consisted of 6 games. But we're going to discuss that a little bit after we check out the game. So let's dive straight into it. It's Arjun Erigaisi versus Quang Liem. Really a wonderful game. So Arjun with the white pieces opens with e4. We have e5 by Liem, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4. The Italian game is on the board. Bishop to c5, and now c3. Arjun does not go for the strongest move here, but c3 will suffice. Knight to f6, we have d3, and d6. Now we are in the Giuoco Pianissimo variation of the main line. Castles, and now we have bishop to g5, which is not played that often. More often here you will see bishop b3, knight bd2, h3, but here bishop to g5. This is well, it's a very tricky line, and you have to know a whole lot of theory, as it allows h6, g5, and then you have to decide, do you want to play that, or do you want to sacrifice in g5 and then try and win like this? And the black has shown more than once that black can defend this fairly easily. So okay, h6, bishop h4, and now a5, saying you are not getting that pawn to b4 anytime soon. Rook to e1, and now there is a game from last year's FIDE Grand Prix, or rather FIDE Grand Swiss, between Raunak Sadvani and Ivan Cheparinov, where g5 immediately was played. The game ended in a draw, but here we have bishop to a7 by Liem, and it is now, as of move 9, that we have a completely new game. I believe even in the game that we've shown between Magnus and Vincent, also it was a new move already as of move 9, so you know, very, very interesting stuff. Knight b to d2, and now we have pawn to g5. And now you have to decide, do you want to sacrifice on g5 or not? For example, if you do, okay, it looks very nice. You are preparing to bring your queen into f3, put pressure on the knight. But black can defend this fairly easily with king to g7, and then you will just bring the rook to help out with the defense, and not much worry there. For example, queen f3, rook to h8, and it's not easy for white to create anything here. And it's been played before in similar position, so well, it's possible, and it's even, I believe, the top move recommended by the engine. Arjun says that it's not something worthy of pushing for a win. So bishop g3, knight to h7, and now pawn to d4, not waiting for something like moving the king and then pawn to f5. H5, now preparing to trap the bishop, and pawn to h3, making room for the bishop, but now pawn to g4, busting open the king side. H4. First attacking the bishop, bishop to h2, and now pawn to g4, busting open the king side. Captures, and now bishop back to e2, so the knight can move and also now help out with the defense of the d4 square. Queen to f6, and now knight to c4, putting more pressure on the e5 square. E captures on d4, and now, while you would expect something like c captures or knight captures, nope, here Arjun plays pawn to e5, and this is truly a spectacular idea. Now, it's hard to say if Arjun has this prepared at home, or did he find this brilliant inspiration over the board, because it was Liem who went into a new position. It wasn't Arjun who surprised Liem, but surviving this with black, if you haven't seen this, would be extremely difficult. I will, just for fun, I will show you the engine line that says that black is okay from this position. Starts with queen to g7. Which is, you know, not the first move that comes to mind, as there's so much tension in the center. And now after knight captures on h4, opening up an attack here on the bishop back to e6, and after bishop d3, now you play d5. You chase away the knight d2, captures, and now knight to g5. So this is, if you find this over the board, you will be okay with black. If not, chances are you are gonna lose this, well, terribly. So d captures on e5 is what was played by Liem, and now knight c captures on e5. Bishop captures on f3. Bishop captures on f3. Now the rook and the bishop defend the knight, so it's not a problem. And now again you have to play knight to g5. But here d captures on c3 was played, obviously expecting b captures on c3. But here Arjun plays the incredible knight to d7. Attacks the queen, attacks the rook, and what can you do here? Well, queen to f5 is played, and here a big trap is set up, but Arjun has a completely winning position here. if you find the idea that he had, and it's not a simple one. So feel free to pause the video here and try to find what Arjun had in mind while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on starting to calculate knight captures on f8. It's a valiant move, but it's not the move that wins the game. The move that wins the game is bishop to e4. So really congratulations to everyone who found this, because you allow queen or bishop captures on f2, and that's not easy to spot that this is okay. I will just quickly show what happens if knight captures on f8, then c captures on b2, threatens the rook, and now okay, you can capture on h7, b captures on a1, queen captures, and now queen captures on h7. You get this position where black is up a few pawns, but white has the bishop pair. The black king is kind of open. The queen controls this diagonal, so it would be white who would be pushing for the win here. It's not, however, as clean. After queen to f5, bishop to e4, the move Arjun played now really makes it impossible for black to survive this. He starts with queen captures on f2 with check, king to h1, and now knight to f6. Again, the strongest move, but not much other than that. It's simply not enough. Here, just bishop captures on c6, b captures, and rook to f1. Now, if the queen moves, of course, the knight hangs for free with check. So c2. Again, the only move, the strongest move, but now queen to c1. Of course, if you play something like knight captures on f6, check, queen captures, you are still attacking the queen, but your queen is also hanging. And if you play queen captures on c2, queen g6 offers a queen trade, and black survives this. So here, after queen to c2, Arjun just played queen to c1, and now there is no move. Once the queen moves, you just pick up the free knight. So here, Liem tried queen captures on f1, giving up the queen for rook and the knight, but it is not enough. Queen captures, knight captures on d7. Now queen to f5, attacking the knight, attacking the pawn on c2. And here, again, you could try something like rook 8 to d8, then okay, it's you defend the knight, the c2 pawn will hang. But here Liem tries one last idea, rook f to e8, and now if the knight is captured, he will bring the other rook into the game and hopefully land this rook on d1. But Arjun calculates precisely. He plays queen captures on d7, rook 8 to d8, and now of course queen to g4 check first. A very important move, as it guards the d1 square twice now with the queen and the rook, so rook d1 is not a problem. King f8, and now bishop to f4, freeing up that h2 square for the king, just for safety. Bishop to e3, and now just bishop captures, not worrying about anything. We have rook to f1, preparing to set up a mating attack here with queen h5, and now just pawn to h3. Trying something to open up the white king. We have queen h5, threatening checkmate, and now h captures on g2 with check. King captures, rook to d2 check, but just king back to h1. And yes, you do have the rook pair. The pawn is nicely placed, ready for promotion on c2, but the rook and queen both guard the d1 square, so rook d1 is impossible, and also checkmate is being threatened. So king e8, trying to run away with the king. If you can hide the king maybe on b7 and not allow any further checks, you will have some chances, but queen captures on f7 check, king to d8, queen to g8 with check, king to d7, and now rook f7 check. Now rook e7, and just rook captures on e7. And now, of course, you cannot capture here because queen g5 check picks up the rook and also guards the queening square. So after rook captures on e7 check, king to d6 was played, but now just a nice queen to d8 check. And he was in this position on move 41 that Quang resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Once the king moves, let's say king here, queen captures on d2, guards the queening square. Of course, there's nothing to play for here. So yeah, after this wonderful move and this wonderful combination, Arjun took the lead in the match. This was the second game of the match. Then game 3 ended in a draw, and then in game 4, Arjun only needed a draw with the white pieces. However, he blundered terribly, and Liem won a very, very nice game. He forced tie breaks, but in the tie breaks, Arjun just won both games very convincingly, and thus rightfully took his place in the finals of the Julius Baer Generation Cup, where he will face none other than Magnus Carlsen. So yeah, I mean, it's just a spectacular idea. This after this, sorry. got a bit too far there. After this exchange in the center, this e5 move. Like I said, I don't know if it's prepared at home or he found it over the board, but regardless, maybe it was a spur of inspiration, maybe sort of some sort of a brilliant moment. But finding a defense against e5 is not easy, and I don't think it's possible in a rapid game over the board. So yeah, very nicely done by Arjun. For those of you who are maybe just joining in the event, this is what happened basically in the knockout phase. First, we had the preliminaries where the 16 players were playing, and then the final 8 proceeded into the knockout phase, where Magnus Carlsen defeated Levon Aronian 3-1. He proceeded to the semifinals. Vincent Keimer defeated Pragnananda, also 3-1, where he faced Magnus Carlsen. We've already seen that match in the previous video. Magnus defeated Vincent and proceeded to the finals. And in the other part of the bracket, Liem defeated the legend Hans Niemann. Arjun Erigaisi was better than Christopher Yu. Then now we've seen how Arjun defeated Liem Le, and in the finals over the next 2 days we will see the match Arjun Erigaisi versus Magnus Carlsen, as Magnus also praised him very much in his interview. He is, I believe, Arjun is now, I believe, number 18 or 19. I believe it's Arjun and Gukesh, so they are like number 18 and number 19 in the World Classical. So they have improved tremendously over the past year. And I believe Magnus is very, very happy to face Arjun in the final. So we'll see what happens. Next 2 days will be filled with great chess. Arjun has a great opportunity here. He's been playing incredible chess. Will he be able to take down one Magnus Carlsen? We'll see. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Stuart Matthews, Derek King, Brian Pokin, Golden Pawn, and Mehdi Shakui for contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the finals until it finishes. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.